Hi, I'm Jamie, and welcome to Yogasanas. I'm currently located in the beautiful Equilibrio Surf Art and Yoga Center, which you'll find in Nicaragua. Today's video is about Surya Namaskar, which are sun salutations. I'm going to talk about just the benefits of the sun and why we praise the sun as people. And then move into the history and mythology behind the salutation. And then we'll go into how to practice this traditionally, what are the movements, and how the mantras go along with it. Alright, so for starters, let's talk about the sun. It's just our source of life. We all need the sun. We all love the sun. You spend 5 minutes a day walking in the sun and you feel great. The sun is seen as the source of vital energy, the source of all light and all life, traditionally. It's also seen as the source of divine wisdom. It's got so many reasons to be praised. We need it to have food, we need it to have nutrition and energy. Everything in this world is growing towards the sun, and the same applies to us. So when we're doing Surya Namaskar, we're honoring the amazingness of the sun and how much we need it in our lives, taking a second to give reverence to that, to think about that. And also taking a second to, understand the divine light within ourselves and how much we are connected to this beautiful source of energy. So that is essentially why we praise the sun in any culture. Almost every culture takes a second to praise the sun. That's just what we should do as people. It's a beautiful moment to think of something beyond yourself. So the mythology behind Surya Namaskar, where does it come from? The history of it is super cute. It's the story of Hanuman, and Hanuman is the monkey god you'll find in the Hindu mythology. What happened is when Hanuman was a baby, or a small little monkey, he saw the sun and he thought it was this beautiful, delicious mango. So he really wanted the mango. And he jumped on up there and he took a bite out of the sun. So the sun was not okay with this. And he burns Hanuman, like, why are you biting me? And all the gods were so upset by this as well. They're like, how could you eat the sun? So the war god Indra, he throws this lightning bolt at the jaw of Hanuman so he'll let go. And, what an amazing story. What does it mean? So the idea behind this is to think about any time that we ourselves have gone after something impulsively that we wanted and had it burn us. And that could be so many things. It's just something we do all the time as people. We think we really want something and it turns out to not be a good idea for us, for others around us, and it can be anything like impulsively maxing out your credit card, or overeating, or binge drinking. Anything like that applies to this concept in the story. So later in life, Hanuman grows up to be a big monkey, and now he needs a formal education. So he's got to go find his guru and learn about the beauty of life, learn the Vedas. And his mom suggests, hey, why don't you go ask Surya, the sun god? He's always going over the world every day. He knows everything about life. So why don't you go ask? And, Hanuman's like, well, you're right. He seems great. So he goes and asks Surya. And, Surya's like, no, you bit me that one time. I don't want to teach you. Later, the sun comes around and says, okay, sure, I will teach you. And, Hanuman goes with him over the course of the sky every day. And this time, the sun teaches him about life and about the meaning of life. So what a namaskar is that it's used as a form of reverence. So traditionally, people might have done this at an altar in front of a deity, or to like a teacher, or to an elder, someone they respected, and it's like a way of honoring someone. So once Hanuman learned everything about life, he wanted to give back to the sun. Thank you so much for teaching me. What can I give you? And it's not like the sun wants money or anything. So he gives him his namaskar as a way of honoring the sun for teaching him, which is quite beautiful. And that is the story of Surya Namaskar. Like, where does it come from? So where we really find it is we find it in the Yajur Veda, and originally it was a series of poems and songs, like hymns, dedicated to the sun. You can also find the Gayatri mantra as one of these hymns. And this is where we get the traditional mantras used for this practice. Later on in life, at some point, the ancient yogis and sages designs this series of positions to go along with these mantras. And with this you find the city of Ont. It's like a city-state. And the Raja of Ont, his name was Bala Sahib, and he ruled there from 1909 to 1947. He wanted his city-state to be healthy and happy, and everybody was physically healthy during this time. He really valued it. So what he did was he taught the Surya Namaskar as it was taught to him by his family to his whole city-state, so that everybody did this. It was taught in schools. He wrote a book about it in 1926 called Surya Namaskar. And, you know, the idea was that everybody would be doing this whole routine in the morning and in the afternoon and multiple times during the day. You do many rotations of the sun salutation, and it kept you in awesome good health. So what happened is one day this British journalist went to go visit Aunt, and her name was Louise Morgan. She, you know, talks about in the book how she met the Raja, and he was old. She thought he was gonna be like this little old man. Turned out he looked so full of vital energy and young. He looked like he was like maybe mid-30s, and he was probably like 60 or 70 or something. So she's like, whoa, why do you look this good? And he tells her about how awesome sun salutations are, and that this is what he does. And this is what everybody here does, and they're all like doing super well in their old age. They've started to refer to it as like the fountain of life in Britain afterward, when she started telling people about it. So later she has so many people that are curious about this practice that she translates his book into English in 1938, and it's called the 10-Point Way to Health. So if you feel like giving that a read, you can learn all about the history of Surya Namaskar. So there's a couple other sun salutations. In Ashtanga Yoga, you find Surya Namaskar A and Surya Namaskar B, and they're practiced really regularly, and they're just like a part of the Ashtanga Yoga routine. So this is because Krishna Mancharya, he was invited by the Maharaja of Mysore in 1931 to come to the palace and teach. So he taught Sanskrit, and he designed a yoga series for the people of the palace as well. And in this yoga series, he had his own Surya Namaskar, which is Surya Namaskar A and Surya Namaskar B. So those are the three main ways of having a Surya Namaskar. I'm going to practice the one from the 10-Point Way of Health in the next clip. And if you'd like to see the other versions, attend a few more yoga classes. Yeah, so that about sums up Surya Namaskar. If you'd like to practice it in your own life, it can be a very beautiful way to just take some time for yourself, to maybe go spend some time in the sun, in some nature. You can do it in your own house if you want. And, you know, work on your own health, work on your own well-being. So I wish you luck in those endeavors. Namaste. Om Ram Namaha. Om Hrim Namaha. Om Hrum Surya Namaha. Om Panave Namaha. Om Hram Kadaya Namaha. Om Hra Pushne Namaha. Om Hram Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Om Hrim Maritaye Namaha. Om Hrum Aditaya Namaha. Om Hraim Savitre Namaha. Om Raum Artaya Namaha. Om Ra Bhaskaraya Namaha.